Okay. Good morning, dear students. So we are back with another class. We do have the rest of the things to discuss again. Half of the STD or venereal disease, like the first part, HIV/AIDS, has been discussed, and which I presented in that topic very nicely. And now today we do have syphilis, gonorrhea, and sangroid. uh, these three topic will also be discussed by Isa. She will be starting this in a short moment of time. I guess I have to permit the sharing of the screen. So yes, Isa, are you ready?
Yes, sir.
So can you share the screen?
Is it visible, sir?
Hmm. Yes, somehow it is visible now. It is showing. Isa is started screen sharing, but yes. Okay, Bipin,
Now?
no problem. Yes, it is visible, Isa. You can start now.
So may I start, sir?
Yes, you can start.
So, good morning, everyone, and welcome back to my presentation. And today's topic is syphilis, sanchroid, and gonorrhea. So, let's get started. Syphilis. Syphilis is a sexually transmitted disease that is caused by spirochete bacteria called Treponema pallidum, which begins with a single sancre in the genitals or inside the mouth and reaches the heart, damage, blindness if not treated. The sancre or ulcer is noticed in the anal area, vaginal portion, and inside the mouth, which is non-itchy and painless. Syphilis can be cured with antibiotics and injection, but the test shows syphilis positive once cured, even though the bacteria is not existing in our body, since the antibody against the virus is already prepared by our immune system. Its incubation period ranges from 10 to 90 days. So next is the modes of transmission. So syphilis can be transmitted through Syphilis can be transmitted through unsafe sexual contact, diffusion of infected blood or blood products, reusing or sharing of the infected needles, mother to the child, or vertical transmission. In the syphilis, there we can find the symptomatic stages of syphilis. There are three stages of syphilis. They are the primary stage, secondary stage, and the tertiary stage. So primary stage. In the stage, a skin lesion called sancre appears in the genitals or tip of finger in the male and on vulva and anal area in female. In primary stage of syphilis develops approximately 10 to 90 days after the initial exposure. The sacre in this stage is firm, painless, and non-itchy. The lesion may appear for 3 to 6 weeks without treatment, then it disappears, leaving a scars. Evidently, lymph node enlargement occurs around the area of infection after the formation of sancre. So, in the primary stage, sancre is formed around the genitals. So, in this stage, the sancre which appears is non-itchy and painless. So, in the secondary stage, which occurs approximately 4 to 10 weeks after the primary infection, skin rashes appears, hair falls, swelling of the joint, enlargement of the liver, spleen and lymph node, fever, sore throat, weight loss, and headache are the common symptoms. If treatment is not done in time, the third stage begins after some years later. Now, the third stage, which is the last symptomatic stage of the syphilis, is the tertiary stage, which occurs between 3 to 15 days after the initial exposure and may develop the following health problems. So, gummatous syphilis. In the gumatinous syphilis, there is a formation of gumas occurs like a tumor or the masses typically in the skin, bone, and a liver. So neurosyphilis is the development of meningovascular syphilis, resulting into the blindness, general paralysis, and insanity. Similarly, the cardiovascular syphilis damages the heart and the blood vessels. So our next topic is gonorrhea. Gonorrhea is a sexually transmitted infection, STIs. It is also known as the clap. It is caused by the bacterium called Neisseria gonorrhea that can grow and multiply easily in the mucous membrane of the body, like in the anal area, vaginal area. So the germs come out with the pus from the genitals. The white, yellow bees or a greenish pus-like substance is discharged from the sexual organs. Gonorrhea can be easily treated with antibiotics. However, if it is not treated, gonorrhea can cause infertility and other health conditions too. The incubation period ranges between 3 to 9 days. Next is the symptoms of gonorrhea. In the gonorrhea, the symptoms varies in the male, female, and in the common. So the symptoms which is seen in the male are inflammation of the penile urethra, inflammation of the epididymis, risks of the prostate cancer, painful or the swollen testicles appears. Similarly, in female, pain in the lower abdomen, bleeding between the periods and or heavier periods, bleeding after sex, but this is rare, swelling of the vulva, lower abdomen or pelvic pain. In common, burning, sensation and difficulties in urination, that is called dysuria, frequent occurrence of urination, thick greenish yellow or white discharge flows out from the penis or a vagina, genitals or urethra are swollen, red spot appears around the genitals, eyes are affected of a newly born baby. So modes of transmission, this disease is transmitted, that is gonorrhea is transmitted through unprotected sex, having the sex with a multiple partners, mean having sex with the mean, mother to the child transmission, and HIV positive can also cause the gonorrhea as a opportunistic infection. Similarly, use of the infected needles and a syringe, sharing of the clothes and handkerchief by the patient, and transfusion of contaminated blood. So our last topic is Sancroid. Sancroid is a highly contagious yet curable sexually transmitted disease, STDs, that is caused by the bacteria Haemophilus ducreyi. Sancroid causes the ulcer usually of the genitals, swollen, painful lymph glands or bubes in the groin areas. Painful open sores are often associated with a sancroid. The ulcer may bleed or produce a contagious fluid bacteria during anal or a vaginal intercourse. Left untreated, sancroid may fasten transmission of HIV. So in its incubation period fall between 3 to 7 days. Sancroid also symptoms of sancroid can also be seen in the male, female, and in the common differently. Sores, pains, and scrotum in the male. Similarly, the sancroid sores in the liva majora, liva minora, and inner thighs in the female. Similarly, painful intercourse or vagina discharge is also seen in the female. So in common, presence of painful ulcer on and around the genitals, draining of grey or yellowish pus from the ulcer, bleeding from the ulcer and swelling in the groin, and painful urination, that is dysuria. So modes of transmission. This disease is transmitted through having unprotected sexual contact, wearing of the contaminated fomites, and skin-to-skin contact with an infected person. So lastly, the preventive measures of the following STDs, that is the HIV/AIDS, syphilis, gonorrhea, and sancroid, and I have mentioned all these four in a one. So there is a mnemonics for the prevention measures of these STDs that can be classified into A, B, C, D, E, and F. So A stands for acidic lifestyle, that is also called abstinence. It is the practice of staying away from the sexual indulgence. That is, it is the practice of saying no to the sexual relationships or sex activities. Similarly, be faithful to your spouse only. Have a sexual intercourse with only one partner. Be careful while transfusing the blood. Only properly screened blood should be transfused. C is the correct and consistent use of the contraceptive devices, that is condom and femidom. Stop the exchange of the body fluid between the partners. So D is the avoid intravenous drugs users. Drugs should be avoided. Education and awareness about the HIV AIDS, similarly other STDs should be provided. Yeah, focus on the time of the organ transplantation. Properly screened organs should only be transplanted. So other preventive measures includes early diagnosis and a treatment. Girls trafficking and prostitutions must be banned. Avoid a body piercing and tattooing. Patient clothes and other belongings should be washed properly. So frequently asked questions in SCE examinations. There are how poverty is the main cause of HIV/AIDS, why gonorrhea is not a fatal disease. It is responsibilities of all to stop STDs. Mention any one reason. Create any four attractive slogans to aware people against HIV/AIDS. Mention any AIDS suggestion for HIV/AIDS infected people. What sorts of activities can be conducted by a school to prevent STDs? HIV/AIDS is considered as the most dangerous disease. Why? What can we do to stop the infections? How can syphilis make a patient disabled at his last stage? Frame a plan to prevent the spread of HIV/AIDS in Nepal. Prepare any four programs for minimizing the STDs. Mention the full form of HIV/AIDS. Write the modes of transmission of HIV. So this is how I have completed my presentation. Thank you. Hope you liked it.
Okay, thank you, Isa. Thank you for this nice presentation. You were so much eloquent when discussing this matter and confident enough. Thank you. This is something a subject teacher can expect from a student who is a good listener. Thank you for everything. And now I'd like to move with Bipin. Bipin, can I talk to you? And rest of
Yes,
others,
sir.
I forgot to mention you. I forgot to say you to open up your video. So please, everybody requested to open your video. Open is that the thing? So please don't compel me to be harsh on you. Bipin, yes, I want to talk to you. How are you, Bipin?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
I'm fine, sir.
I'm also absolutely fine, doing great. So Bipin, the first question
Yes,
goes
sir.
to you. Uh, can you name the causative agent of all four venereal disease that just Isa discussed?
Sir, HIV virus would be retrovirus,
Hmm?
or HIV virus or retrovirus for HIV and AIDS.
And
Syphilis will be
why,
Treponema pallidum.
Bipin, sorry to disturb you. Why do we have a
Yes, sir.
discrepancy in different copy in different books? In some books, the causative agent of HIV is written HIV virus, whereas in some book it is written retrovirus. What is the reason behind this? What is the reason behind these discrepancies?
Sir, yeah, sir, can you repeat the question once more?
We have been following different books, isn't it? In some book we do
Yes, sir.
find the causative agent of HIV disease is a HIV virus, whereas in some book we do find the causative agent of HIV AIDS is retrovirus. Why these differences we do see?
Sir, in cases, sir, in my just opinion, I'm not sure about the answer. But I guess in the HIV virus, in the initial stage when it starts to invade our body, a simple retrovirus enters our body and bind our
Bipin,
marker molecules of the.
Yes,
sir?
Bipin, it doesn't have anything to talk relate with the pathogenesis. Okay.
I'm not sure about that.
Okay, the reason behind is HIV is the virus that falls under the retroviridity group. There's a family of the virus, retroviridity. It falls inside the retroviridity group. So in some book, we can find the causative agent as a retrovirus also. That's all, nothing else. Thank you. And then yes, you can continue with the
Yes, sir.
rest of the answers.
And the syphilis will be Treponema pallidum, and
Great.
gonorrhea will be Neisseria gonorrhea, and chancroid will be Haemophilus ducreyi.
Yes, do creep. So among all these
Yes, sir.
four different types of virus and bacteria, obviously one disease HIV is caused by the virus, and rest of the three STDs or venereal disease is caused by the bacteria. And one of the disease is there which is spiral in shape. Like when you go through the types of the bacteria, we do normally
Yes.
say the coccus bacteria, and then bacillus bacteria, and then spirillum bacteria, spiral shape bacteria, and the vibrio bacteria, which are comma in shape. So which of one
Yes,
is
sir.
the spiral bacteria? Which of the
Spiral
bacteria?
bacteria, sir.
Which among the three disease causative agent of three disease? The first one is Neisseria gonorrhea, the second one is
Uh,
Treponema pallidum, and third is Haemophilus ducreyi. Among all these three bacteria, one is spiral shape bacteria. Can you guess which one is?
I guess the Treponema pallidum of
Yes,
syphilis.
yes. Treponema pallidum is a spiral shape bacteria. Thank you, Bipin. That was everything to talk to you. Now I would like to move with
Thank you.
Nikas. Nikas, can I talk to you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yes. We discussed about HIV/AIDS yesterday. Isa came up with lots of facts. She discussed the frequently asked questions. She made a topic also, and I was interested to know one of the topic. The topic is, why don't we get the HIV test positive before the 6 months? So for that reason, we have been saying it as a window period, isn't it? And in the window period, people does not test positive, but they may spread the disease, they may act as a carrier. So we have been saying that as in carrier stage. So what do you think, what is the reason behind the person not showing a positive HIV test, whether they are carrying although they are carrying HIV virus?
Okay, sir. So when we go to test our HIV, if we are positive or not, so we do not check if HIV is present or not. We check if the antibodies which has to be made by body, if HIV enters in our body, is present in the person or not. So the body takes the time about 6 months to produce enough amount of antibodies for a lab tester or a lab assistant to find the to know that if the person is HIV positive. So until the high number of HIV antibodies are produced in a body, which is about 6 months, it doesn't show positive. So in the window period, due to not being enough amount of antibodies, HIV the HIV virus is not shown positive until 6.
Okay, that was a fine answer. Yes, exactly, you are correct, Nikas. Though the person is carrying the virus, for a person to build up the antibodies against HIV virus, it takes up to this 6 months. So in that duration, a person might not show the HIV test positive, because we do test the antibodies, we don't test the virus itself. We don't identify the virus in the microscope. That's a tedious task, using the virus and scanning it under the electron microscope. That's not a daily routine task which is done in a microbiological laboratory to identify a particular type of virus. Would you test the antibodies, whether it is present in a person or not, and it takes near about 6 months to build up the antibodies for a person if he is infected with HIV virus. So due to that reason, we normally do not see the person suffering from, or we do not see a person being tested positive with HIV positive within the 6 months. The next question, thank you, Nikas. The next question goes to Ravina, I guess. Is she present here, Ravina? Okay, yes, she is
Yes,
here.
sir.
Okay, Ravina, the next question, obviously from the same fact that is has presented, I'd like to ask. Lots of people, they have queries when you go to the social media as well, and one of the queries I was looking or browsing the TikTok, and one person was asking the same thing, similar types of question. If a person is corona positive, and the next person is in the next room, if that infected person is being bitten by a mosquito, and immediately that mosquito goes and bites another person who is not suffering from the coronavirus, will he suffer from the coronavirus or not? There was a question. So somehow the similar type of question I'm going to ask. If a person is suffering from the HIV positive and he is bitten by a mosquito, and a very nearby person is again bitten by the same mosquito, will the second person suffer from the HIV AIDS or not? If not, or if yes, why not? Can you come with the answers?
HIV/AIDS is a sexually transmitted disease, but the vectors that we apply for other diseases like dengue is HIV/AIDS is not transmitted from vector to other human, other healthy person, cause our human beings only have CD4 lymphocytes, and they are positive with the T lymphocytes, and the marker molecules of HIV, which is GP41 and GP120 glycoprotein, react with the marker molecular proteins of CD4 T cell, and then the pathogenesis occur there, and their RBC strands get multiplied, and after that
So,
only
Ravina,
multiplication.
Ravina, there was some disturbance, I guess. Can you begin the things again?
Okay. HIV/AIDS is a sexually transmitted disease, and HIV/AIDS is not transmitted from a human vector to another human cycle, because the vector cannot take the or cannot contain the virus, because they don't have the CD4 T lymphocyte which is present in the human body, as the marker molecules or the protein outside the HIV virus, which is glycoprotein 41 and glycoprotein 120, they react with the CD4 T lymphocyte of human body, and start the RBC strands of their inside. After they have gone inside the cell or nucleus of the cell, they start to replicate, which is only possible in the human body, as we have the CD4 T lymphocyte which interact with the HIV virus. But while in the mosquito and other vectors, except humans, there is no CD4 T lymphocyte, due to which only human beings can be infected with HIV and AIDS. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ravina. Although in some part the voice was so depressed, but we can understand you came with the appropriate answer. Yes, exactly. If the mosquito bite the virus, for a virus to survive inside the mosquito also, it needs some marker molecules. Normally CD4 positive T lymphocyte is absent inside the virus, so the virus doesn't survive inside the gut of the mosquito, so immediately dies inside the mosquito. And if the virus is dead, then if a person is bitten by the mosquito, there is no chance of being the second person being contaminated or transmitted with the HIV virus. That's the reason, and that is the same reason why only human beings are being diagnosed with HIV virus. This HIV virus only survives with the person who have CD4 positive T lymphocyte. HIV virus, they have the marker molecules GP41 and GP120. They are the glycoproteins, they're protein molecules which is present in the outer surface of the virus. And when they get attached with the CD4 molecules which are present outside the specified T cells which are present inside our body, only then the infection starts. So due to all these reasons, we can claim that HIV virus survives only in the human beings, not in any other organisms. So yes, there was a nice discussion made on the venereal disease, which the first one is HIV/AIDS, the second one is syphilis, the third one is gonorrhea, and the fourth one is the chancroid. Syphilis and chancroid do have some similarities, but they have differences, they have discrepancies on an optimum amount. So you have to minutely understand the fact of the differences between the cause deviation, then lots of other things. Syphilis, I'd like to listen from somebody. Okay, whom should I go with for syphilis? I guess Shobha Yadav we have. She is also one of the good listener in the class. Shobha Yadav, yes. Can you like, would you have not more than 3 minutes? Would you like to come up with the synopsis? Would you like to recapitulate syphilis? Shobha?
Okay, sir. The syphilis is a sexually transmitted disease which is generally caused by the spirochete bacterium called Treponema pallidum. And it usually causes the ulcers, which is painless, non-itchy, and its mode of transmission includes the unsafe sex and transmission of the contaminated blood and from mother to the child transmission and using the contaminated needles. The symptoms of syphilis can be categorized into three different stages. There are the primary, secondary, and the third stage. In the first stage, the ulcer is caused. The ulcer or the skin rashes appears in the vaginal or in the penile areas of female and male. The sancre is occurred, which is painless and non-itchy. And in the second stage, the the ulcers can be disappeared. However, the hair falls, the swelling of the joints, and the common symptoms of the cold can be seen in the person. And if it is not treated in the time, then the third stage starts to begin after some time. And in the third stage, there are three different type of syphilis can be developed. There are the firstly the formation of the gomas, that is gomatosyphilis, and in the neurosyphilis and the cardiovascular syphilis. In the cardiovascular syphilis, usually the heart and the blood vessels can be destroyed, and in the neurosyphilis, it causes the paralysis and the blindness. And the preventive measures can be like ABCDF, that A is living the assistance life, B means being faithful to the partners and being careful while blood transfusion. C includes the using the using the well use of the various method of the contraceptive devices. D means avoiding the use of intravenous drugs. E means proper education and awareness regarding the STDs. And F means focus during the organ transplantation. I think. Thank you,
Okay.
sir.
Thank you, Shobha. Thank you. There was a nice illustration from Shobha regarding this syphilis. I guess we don't have more than 1 minute today. So it will be just a reminder for you, for everybody. Tomorrow we will be having presentation on safe motherhood. There are lots of things to discuss on safe motherhood, the concept of the safe motherhood, the approach that the government of Nepal has been taking for the safe motherhood, and then the risky methods, risk symptoms or the risk mechanisms, and then the problem that comes during the time of pregnancy. Everything we have to discuss lots of things, and we have a lot of things to wrap on this topic, and we will taking this thing from Srena Adhikari. Srena, she will be talking on 3 different days. This presentation will be lengthening for 3 days. Part 1, part 2, and part 3 will be making. So till now, hope everybody is having a good time at home, maintaining the distance, and be safe. Thank you for today. Tomorrow we will again resume with the Srena's presentation. Thank you, everybody.